All right, this is a problem where we have to find the equation of a line, and they just give us this picture with A and B. They don't even draw the line. Okay, it's with 2 points. So the best formula to use, of course, is the y equals mx plus b. And you'll understand, I'll talk about other forms of this linear equation later. That's the slope-intercept form. And as we know, it is where m equals the slope, which equals the rise over the run. And this is where b equals the y-intercept. All right, so the way we begin this problem is we have to use this concept first, rise over run, find the slope. You can use the slope form, you can do it, but there's a faster way, so I'll show you that for now, because that equals slope. But we're going to use the rise over the run method because we just have a picture here, or we have a picture, and with that picture we can do this. And what we do to do that, and by the way, this is also rise over run. The rise is the y direction, so the rise is always in the vertical direction, either positive going up or negative going down, and the run is in the horizontal direction. Positive goes to the right, negative goes to the left. So we have to walk from this point to this point, creating a triangle with the line. The line is not drawn, but we still are going to walk. In this case, I'm going to walk down 1, 2, 3, and I stopped there because now I'm even with this point. So I went down 3, so that is a -3 for the rise. Now I'm going to keep walking till I hit the B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 steps to the right, which is the positive direction. And that is the run. Now this can be reduced because you want to reduce it. If you divide this by 3, you get 3. And whatever you divide on one numerator or denominator, you have to do on the other. 9 divided by 3, whoops. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, let's try that again. And then 9 divided by 3 is 3. And this is, we divided by a positive 3, so this is actually a -1. So the slope then is a -1/3. So we have parts of our equation. We're trying to get it to look like this, except the m will be filled in with a number, and the b will be filled in with a number. The x and the y you do not have to find values for. So we have so far y equals, and we have an m, and we put the entire fraction in, -1/3 for the m, and then we put the x, and we have this b. We don't know what b is. Now if we try to draw a line, and say, oh, well, the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, so I'm just going to say it's right here. That won't be accurate. You actually have to calculate the y-intercept. Now, how to do that is we're going to solve for this b. We can't solve for the b until we put in a value for x and a value for y. All we need is 1 point, because 1 point on the line has the value of x and y. 1 point is an x and a y. All right, x and a y. So we need to choose a point. Let's find the values for point A. So the x, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 4, because I walked 4 to the left. That is -4. And I'm on the line. So that means I can't go anywhere on the y-axis. So it is actually 0. This point is the x-intercept because this point of the line is crossing the x-axis right here. This, of course, is the y-axis. So we're going to take this x value and this y value, and we're going to plug it in to here. So this is y. Y equals, I'm going to move the whole thing down here where there's some room. I hope there's room. Okay, and I'm going to plug in for y this 0. So that's a 0. I'm going to have negative 1/3 because that's my m. I'm going to plug in this value here as the x here. And that is -4. Let's make it -4/1 so we can easily multiply. And that's plus a b. Now we just have one letter, so we can solve for the one letter. Let's simplify this first, the fractions. -1, remember with multiplying fractions, you multiply the numerator, and then you multiply the denominator. So -1 times 4 is -4, and 3 times -1 is negative. It's -1 times -4, which is a positive 4. Let's just do it this way. We'll keep the negatives on top, and then we'll keep positives on the bottom. 3 times 1 is 3, so that's a positive 3. So 4/3 plus b equals 0. All right, so 4/3 plus b. We want to isolate b, so we're going to leave it there. And we're going to move this. This is positive, so we're going to subtract it. Subtracting 4/3 from 4/3 will still be 0. Doesn't matter if it's fractions, it's still 0. And then on this side, we're going to subtract 4/3. Well, look at it this way. If you have 0 minus 4/3, let's write it this way to help you see it. That's 0/1, and you could put it over 1. Doesn't matter. You're not taking anything away. You're not adding anything. So it's not really relevant to say 0 minus. It's just still your answer is the -4/3. It's just that it becomes negative. Okay. So what we have is, let's see if we can squeeze some room here. -4/3 equals b. Okay, because at this step here, this was our first, we had this formula, we plugged in an x value here, we plugged in an x value, we plugged in a y value. Then we started to simplify by multiplying these fractions. That's how we got the 4/3. And then we subtracted away the 4/3 from both sides. And that's how we ended up down here with -4/3 is b. Okay, so we put that now into our equation, which is up here. So this b now is, we solved for it. Down here it's -4/3. And this is why it's important to not just say, oh, I'm drawing the line and it crossed here, I'll just write whatever that is, I'll guess. That's not accurate. So you have to calculate so you have the correct y-intercept right there.